Okay, good morning, and again, we will be opening up a new topic for today. So, we are through discussing about variations. Today, we will be discussing about integral and zero exponents. So, with that, let's move on with the slides. Okay, okay so for today, we will be discussing zero and integral exponents. And with this, meron din po tayong i-discuss about laws of exponent. Let's continue with this one. Now, at the end of the lesson, we have our aim, as always. You should be able to, we only have here now two goals. The first one is to recall the laws of exponent para lang smooth yung pagsasagot po natin. And then, the second one is applying these laws in solving equation involving exponents. So with that, let's first ask this question. What is an exponent? So we've been talking about exponent, laws of exponent. First things first, what do we mean by exponent? So when we try to talk about exponent, it is used to determine how many times the base is used as a factor. Normally, ang palagi nating naririnig sa mga teacher, it indicates how many times the base is multiplied by itself. Gaano karaming imumultiply yung base sa sarili niya. Kaya lang magkakaproblema, kung 1 yan, 4, imumultiply, gaano karami imumultiply sa sarili niya? 1. So, mas magandang gamitin natin used as a factor. So, let's have here now an example for x squared. The problem here is most of the students think that the exponent 2 ay para sa 4 at saka sa x. We have to understand kung ano lang yung immediate na katabi niya, yun lang po yung kanyang base. Okay? So, numerical coefficient based ng ating exponent, which is the variable, this will serve as our exponent. The exponent 2 has x. Ayan. Only as its base and not 4x. Ito po yun. Since that is the case, it can be represented as 4 times x times x. As we have here now our definition, the exponent indicates how many times the base is used as a factor. Dalawa yan, dalawang beses mo rin siyang makikita rito. Pero dahil hindi nga kasama sa base yung 4, isang beses lang din siya. We simply copy yung kanyang numerical coefficient dito. Now, it will be a different thing if we have here now the square of 4x. If you can see the difference between these two given, we have here now a grouping symbol here, which means 4x is considered as one term. Yung square natin dito, para sa 4, para din sa x. In this example, the exponent 2 has the whole 4x as its base. As I have mentioned, we have here now the grouping symbol, which is the parenthesis. And that will give us 4x times 4x, or 4 times 4 times x. If you notice, since 2 is the exponent for 4 at the same time, exponent for x, dalawang beses nating makikita yung 4 because of our definition here. Dalawang beses din nating makikita yung x. The same reason yung definition natin dito. Okay? Now, analyzing it carefully using an exponent will serve as the shortcut of repeated multiplication. Ito yung madalas hindi napagtutuunan ng pansin. No? When we have here now an exponent, it is actually the short method of repeated multiplication. Excuse. By the way, what do we mean by multiplication? When we try to talk about multiplication, marami nagsasabi, multiply lang, di multiply mo sa sarili. But if we will carefully study it, multiplication is actually the shortcut of repeated addition. Okay? I'm going to repeat. Multiplication is the shortcut of repeated addition. In like manner, using an exponent will give us a shortcut of repeated multiplication. We have here now an example, 5 cubed or 5 raised to the third power. This indicates 5 times 5 times 5. How many factors? We have here now 3. It is used as a factor, yung base po natin. And 5 cubed is actually 125. That will be the value of 5 cubed. If we will be asked what is the final value of 5 cubed here. In like manner, this is another example. So negative 4 raised to the fourth power, which will be equal to negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4. If you notice, nag-multiply tayo ng 4, inilagay lang natin dito as an exponent. And that will give us to 256. Okay? I hope I'm making sense here and you understand what I'm trying to say here. I'm trying to explain here. We have here now another example, almost the same as this one. The only difference will be the parenthesis, which means the negative value here does not belong to the base in which 4 serves as the exponent. Doing that, we're going to have here now negative 1. We will separate yung negative natin dito. Negative 1 and then proceed tayo 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. So no matter what answer we will be come up with, this part, we have to multiply it by negative 1. Thus, we have here now 256 kanina times negative 1, final answer natin of negative times the fourth of 4, the fourth power of 4. That will be negative 256. I'm hoping na nakikita po natin yung difference between this one and also this given. Okay? Now, we have here now the integral and zero exponent. Dun sa previous slide, we only talk about the exponent. This time, we will talk about integral and zero exponent because this is our topic. When we try to talk about integral, that means core or whole. So, hindi lang siya parte, kabuuan po pala siya. Isang buo. Anong ibig pong sabihin natin? So, in this topic, we will be dealing with either positive or negative whole number exponent. So, dun sa mga ibang grade level, may nakikita tayo, we have here the fractional exponent, which is called the rational exponent. And we will be having a different discussion towards that one. But in this topic, particular topic, we will be dealing with a positive or negative whole number exponent. That is what we meant when we talk about integral exponent. Okay? Positive or negative exponent. Now, zero, as it is described, zero. So, wala tayong pag-uusapan. Kung dito sa topic pong ito, ang ating i-discuss will be whole numbers ranging from negative 0 to positive exponents. If we have here now a number line, basta wala siyang fraction, yun po yung ating gagamiting exponents. Dito sa topic na to. Okay. Dito po, we have here now the laws of exponent. Para saan ba yung laws? If we will be applying it in our real life, the reason that we have here now the laws, para magkaroon ng kaayusan. Now, what will happen kapag nag-break tayo ng laws or we do not want to follow a certain law? We will be facing consequences. At kadalasan, hindi maganda yung nangyayari. That's the reason why meron tayong laws of exponent. Ano po yung ibig sabihin dito? If we have here now the laws of exponent, we have to follow these rules or laws para po maging smooth yung compute po natin, pagsasagot natin sa mga given. Now, laws of exponent is also called, this is also known as the rules of exponent. So, laws, may rules tayo. So, if we have the rules, we have to follow. Otherwise, meron tayong penalty. Okay? At in this case nga, dahil magsosolve tayo, ang penalty natin, mas malamang mali yung makukuha po nating sagot. There are several laws that we have to understand involving exponents. Ito yung coverage natin sa laws of exponents. Number 1 will be multiplication of powers with common base. Pag sinabi natin common, matatagpuan dito, matatagpuan din doon. Parehas lang sila. Dividing exponents with the same base. Almost the same as the first law natin, kaya lang division naman. And power of a power. Yung exponent natin is also called power. So, yung exponent natin, ni-raise pa natin by another exponent. That is power of a power. Multiplication of powers with different bases but the same exponents. This is in relation with the first one. Nag-multiply tayo. The only difference will be, sa first one, parehas yung base, magkaiba yung power. Dito sa ating pang-apat, we will be multiplying the same exponents. They have the same exponents, and yet they have different bases. After this, I'm expecting na mas maiintindihan nating lahat. Ano po? We will also be talking about the laws about negative exponents, and of course, the zero exponent. So may operation na tayo, then we have the negative exponents and also the zero exponents. Ito pong anim na to will be discussed in this session. Simulan natin sa nasa una. Multiplication of powers with common base. So kagaya ng nabanggit ko, pag sinabing common, pareho. So halimbawa, if the given to be multiplied have the same base, all we have to do is to copy the common base and add their exponents. Ito. A raised to m times a raised to n. If you notice, yung exponent natin magkaiba. Isang m, isang n, pero yung base natin pareho. So based dun sa law natin, all we have to do now is to copy the common base, which is a, and then we simply have to add yung exponent po nila. Okay? Let's have here now another one. The base here, dahil naka-parenthesis yan, will be a over b. Raised to m times, again, ang base din sa kabila, a over b raised to n. If we will carefully study this one, we have the same base, a over b, kinopya lang natin, and we simply add yung exponent po natin, m plus n. Okay? Ito yung pinaka-formula na gagamitin natin. Let's have an example here. Now, 2 cubed times 2 squared. This is the same as, kagaya nung naipakita na natin kanina, 2 times 2 times 2. And then yung 2 square, 2 times 2. Kung bibilangin natin, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Pinag-add lang 2 raised to the 5th power. And ang final na sagot yan, 2 to the 5th power is equal to 32. Ito po yung magiging sagot po natin. Now, another example here, if we have here now a fraction, 4 over 5 raised to the 2nd power or square times 4 over 5 cubed. Again, parehas yung ating bases. So all we have to do now is to copy the common base, eto, and we simply add yung ating pong exponent. So that will give us 5. Ito yung mangyayari. Dahil yung exponent natin dito, kapag yan po ay fraction, para sa numerator at para sa denominator yan. Kaya ito at saka ito. 4 na beses yung ating, or 5 beses yung ating 4, 5 beses din yung ating 5. And if we will be getting our final answer, that will be 4 over 5 raised to the 5th power is equal to 1,024 over 3,125. Ito po yung magiging sagot po natin. Okay? So, okay lang po kung wala na yung parenthesis natin. Kasi final answer na naman natin yan. Now, dividing exponents with the same base. This is the exact opposite on what we have done sa multiplying exponents with a common base. Ngayon, kung kanina nag-add tayo, ano naman po yung gagawin? If the given to be divided have the same base, all we have to do is to copy the common base and subtract their exponents. So kanina po, what we did, kinopya natin yung common base, nag-add tayo ng ating exponent. In this case, dahil division naman po yung ating pag-uusapan, instead na mag-add, all we have to do now is to subtract their exponents. So ito, a raised to m divided by a raised to n is equal, we simply copy yung ating pong base which is a, and then sinubtract natin. Ito yung ating minuend, ito yung ito yung ating dividend, ito yung ating divisor. So yung una po yung ating sa dividend, exponent dividend, bago yung ating divisor. Okay? Same manner, kapag yan ay fraction, parehas, we simply copy yung common base. And then, ito ulit, exponent ng dividend minus exponent ng ating divisor. Okay? Ito example natin. 10 to the 5th divided by 10 cubed is equal, ito in-expand lang ni Sir, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ayun, yun yung kumakatawan sa 5 nating exponent. Divided by 1, 2, 3, ito. 10 raised to the third power. That will be 10 dahil yun yung ating common base. Then 5 minus 3 equals 10 squared. Now, kapag nagdi-divide tayo, the suggestion will be, in my opinion, mas madali, iayos mo siya as a fraction. Wherein, yung dividend natin will serve as the numerator, the divisor will serve as our denominator. Just like this one. Bakit mas madali? Dahil naka-fraction siya, pwede tayong mag-cancel. Mag-eliminate ng given. So may tatlong 10 sa baba, we simply eliminated 3 tens dun sa numerator. May natira tayong dalawang 10. Eto. 10 times 10. At yung 10 times 10, ito nga yung kumakatawan mismo sa 10 squared. And if we will be getting the value of 10 squared or 10 times 10, this is equal to 100. Now, common mistake na nangyayari po, akala, imumultiply ito dun sa base. Hindi ko alam kung bakit paulit-ulit yung nangyayari sa mga estudyante. This is not 10 times 2. This means 10 times 10. Ito. Kaya nga pinaghihiwalay natin dito po sa lecture natin ito. Okay? Now, if we have here now a fraction, the same process will be applied. We simply copy yung ating bases. Ayan. We subtract cube. So, kagaya ng nabanggit ko na kanina, kapag naka-fraction po yan, yung exponent natin, para sa numerator, that will give you 7 cube. At para din siya sa denominator, 2 cube. Which means 7 over 2, kabuuan, times 7 over 2, times 7 over 2. Final answer natin, 343 over 8. Ang kadalasan po nangyayari dito, na sagot ng karamihan will be 21 over 6. So I'm hoping you're seeing the difference ng may exponent tayo tsaka nagmumultiply. Okay? So this will be our answer. The simplest form without the exponent. If we will be encountering problems, the given is just like this. At ang sasabihin po sa atin, give the value without an exponent, the final answer. Ito po yung ating magiging sagot. Okay, power of power. So kagaya yung sinabi ko, mayroon ng exponent, in-extend mo pa sa exponent. This law implies that we have to multiply the powers in case an exponential number is raised to another power. So parang magulo. Kagaya po nabanggit ko kanina, if we have here now an exponent, tapos nakakulong pa ulit siya, i-raise mo pa by another exponent. So, ang gagawin naman natin dito, kanina nagmumultiply tayo ng dalawa, inadd. Ito ngayon, nagmumultiply, so we have to multiply yung ating, or nagkaroon po ng another raised power, we have to multiply yung ating exponent. So, ito yung example para mas mabilis maintindihan. A raised to m. So, we have here now the power. What is the power here? M. And then, we put it inside a grouping symbol, and we raise this power m sa another power which is n. So, nagtaas pa tayo. In this case, magmumultiply po tayo ng mga exponents. A is equal to m times n, or simply, A raised to m times n, or simply A raised to mn. Ito yung makikita natin. Nagmumultiply. So example, we have here now 4 squared raised to the third power. So yung 4 natin, in-erase na natin sa square or sa 2, and then, i-raise pa natin sa third power. So this will be 4 raised to 2 times 3. Ito na expon natin, i-multiply. So that will give us 4 raised to the 6th power, 6 na beses, ganyan. Which will give us 4,096. Okay, so therefore, the cube of 4 square is equal to 4 raised to the 6th power. Nagmultiply lang kasi tayo. And the final answer will be 4,096. Now, if we have here now the fraction, if you notice here, 2 cubed over 3 square raised to the second power. So we have here now an exponent, 3 at saka 2, naka-raise sa another power which is square. Imumultiply sa bawat exponent. So 2 cubed times 2, 3 square times 2. As I have mentioned kanina pa, basta naka-parenthesis yan at fraction, yung exponent natin para sa numerator at para sa denominator. Ang hindi ko nabanggit po kanina, dahil nga dito sa topic na ito, we will be multiplying yung exponent sa numerator at saka sa denominator. So in this case, we will be having 2 raised to the 6th power over 3 raised to the 4th power. Kung i-expand ko ito. By the way, hindi natin kailangan i-expand ito kung nagsasagot po tayo. The reason why I'm showing this one, para alam natin yung nangyayari within. Okay? So 2 raised to the 6th power will give us 64. And 3 raised to the 4th power will give us 81. Now, may magtatanong, sir, ilo-lowest term pa ba? As long as dito sa long method natin, dito sa expanded form natin, wala ka nang nakakancel, automatic, lowest term na po yung nasa dulo. Okay? So, hindi ka na mangangamba. So, dito pa lang kita mo na. Therefore, the square of 2 cubed over 3 squared is equal to 2 raised to the 6th power over 3 raised to the 4th power is equal to 64 over 81. So, eto po, huwag pong kalilimutan. Multiplication of powers with different bases but the same exponent. So, kanina, we multiply given with the same base but different exponents. In this case naman, we have here now the same powers or the same exponents, pero yung bases po natin magkaiba. So the general form of this is A raised to m times B raised to m. If you notice, the exponent nung A ay m, ang exponent din nung B ay m. So parehas sila na exponent. We have the same exponent. Pero yung bases natin, isa ay A, isa ay B. So magkaiba. So kapag po ganito nangyari, ang titingnan natin na exponent, i-multiply lang natin yung basis natin, then we simply copy yung ating exponent, which is m. Halimbawa, 4 cubed times 2 cubed. So parehas po tayo ditong naka-cube. Ano nga ibig sabihin yan? 4 times 4 times 4, 2 times 2 times 2. Parehas. Kung atin pong pagsasamahin, that will give us 4 times 2 times 4 times 2 times 4 times 2. Isa, dalawa, tatlo. And changing this, pwede na natin gamitin para dito. 4 times 2 raised to the third power or cube. So pag minultiply natin yung 4 times 2, that will give us 8 cube. Ano yung final answer natin? That will give us 512. That means 8 times 8 times 8. Okay? Same manner, 4 cube times a cube. Ayun, magiging sagot. 4 times a. Inilabas ko na lang yung cube. That will give us 64a cube. Sir, bakit naging 64? Ito yung madalas pagkakamali. Akala sa a lang siya. Pero dahil nga po nakaparenthesis siya, para din sa 4. Which means, yung 4 magkakaroon din ng cube. So 4 times 4 times 4, that will give you 64. Okay? Negative exponents. So we are through with the positive exponents. At yung operation involved, we will be now talking about negative exponent. If the exponent is negative, we simply make it positive by taking the reciprocal of the given. So kabaliktaran lang. So ano ibig sabihin ni sir ng reciprocal of the given? If the one with the negative exponent is in the numerator or a whole number, put the given in the denominator and the exponent will be positive. All we have to do now is to put that given, kung nasa numerator siya, sa denominator mo ilalagay, and then, kopyahin mo rin yung kanyang exponent, the only difference will be, mawawala na yung negative. Positive na siya. Same goes if the given is in the denominator. Place it in the numerator and change the exponent to positive. Ito yung halimbawa natin, a raised to m. Sir, walang denominator, whole number. Okay? A whole number has a denominator of 1. Okay? So, ang ginawa natin, 1 over, nilagay natin sa ibaba, am. Positive na. So, ito halimbawa, 3 raised to negative 2. Sir, may negative na exponent. Equals 1 over 3 squared. Okay, so kinopya mo lang, the only difference will be yung exponent mula sa negative naging positive and it is placed dun sa baba na. Kanina nasa taas siya, over 1 to eh. Final answer natin will be 1 over 9. So, halimbawa naman, nasa denominator siya, ilagay mo siya sa numerator. So, b over n. Halimbawa, 1 over 4 raised to negative 3. Nasa baba, negative. Gawin mong positive ito. Ilagay mo sa taas. Anong maiiwanan sa baba? Dahil wala siyang kasama, over 1. Hindi na natin isinusulat. So 4 cube is equal to, again, 64. So madali lang yung sa negative exponent. Pag may nakita tayo, kung ano yung base ng exponent na yon, ililipat mo lang ng pwesto. Pag nailipat na natin, tanggalin na natin yung negative, positive na yung magiging sagot. Okay, zero exponent. All given with zero exponent is equal. Oops, sorry. Is equal to 1. Let me S yun. That's correct. Okay. Okay, is equal to 1. Lahat. Wala tayong problema doon. So, a raised to 0 is equal to 1. Example natin, 4z to the 5th. Uy, meron na rin siyang exponent dito. Pero lahat sila nakakulong, 0 is equal to 1. Marami nagsasabi, dapat 0. Pero kung lilimiin natin, dun sa division natin, nagsasubtract tayo ng exponent. Halimbawa, 6 divided by 6. Ang sagot, 1. Now, if we will be putting exponent there, 6 raised to 1 yun. Over 6 raised to 1. Kung isasubtract natin, that is 6, 1 minus 1, and that is equal to 0. 6 raised to 0. So, lahat po ng nakikita natin na value ng isang base ng exponent ay 0, that is equal to 1. Logically speaking, if we have here now a 0 exponent, it indicates that the base has been divided to itself. Ganun lang po kasimple yan. Kapag nakakita tayo ng 0 dito, ang ibig lang sabihin, itong base, i-divide mo lang sa sarili niya, kaya 1. Okay? So, if we have here now a fraction, 2/4 or 1/2 raised to 0, kahit gaano pa karami, equal sa 1 yan. Kahit may plus, may minus sa loob, tas nakita mo sa dulo, raised to 0, equal sa 1 yung value na yan. No matter how many given there are, as long as it is enclosed by a grouping symbol and the exponent is 0, the answer will always be equal to 1. Okay? Ang gusto ko lang linawin dito, guys, kung meron po tayo ditong over, halimbawa, b squared. Okay? Sa halimbawa, 4z to the 5th raised to 0, tapos over b squared na lang halimbawa. Hindi lang 1 yun. 1 yung nasa numerator, pero yung denominator, yung pa ring b squared. Okay? So, huwag pong kalilimutan yun. Ang 1 lang, yung may exponent na 0. Pero kung hindi siya sakop yung exponent na 0, you have to analyze kung ano po yung magiging value niya mismo. Okay, we have here now the last slide. Sample tayo. Dahil madadali yung nauna, ito lang yung medyo siguro confusing para sa iba. 36xy cubed over 9x raised to the negative 2. Ang focus nyo muna dyan, huwag nyo munang pansinin itong variables. 36 at saka 9, we can simply divide, that will give you 4. Yung x squared, dahil negative siya, x raised to negative 2, dahil nasa numerator, ilagay mo sa taas. So that will give you x times x squared. Tatlo na yung ating x. Yung y cube, hindi mo na siya babaguhin. Nandyan pa rin siya. That will give us 4. Ito yung sinabi ko sa numerical coefficient natin. Yung x raised to negative 2, inilagay ko sa taas. Dahil meron tayong isa, nadagdagan pa ng dalawa, ay yung 3. And then y cube. Ito ang sagot niya. So I hope I'm making sense here now, guys. Now, we have here now the second example. Negative 2 exponent na sa labas. And then, 2a over 3b raised to negative 2 yung nasa loob, yung base. Dito sa nasa loob, we have here now negative 2, yung ating b. Ito yung madalas uling pagkamalian, akala yung negative 2 para sa 3b. Hindi. Para saan lang po ito? Para sa b. So, anong ginawa? Itinas ko. Move. 2ab squared over, may naiwan tayo, 3. Ba't ko sinabing madalas pinagkakamalian? Ito po kasi, inilalagay din sa taas. So what I did first, ginalaw ko muna yung nasa loob. Tinanggalan ko muna ng negative. Okay? Next. Sir, yung nasa labas natin, negative 2. So kung nasa labas yan, pagpapalitin ko lang ng pwesto to kasi imumultiply ko lang eh. Ayan o. 3, nasa denominator, inilagay ko sa numerator. Yung 2ab squared, nasa numerator, nilagay ko sa denominator. And then, kung mapapansin natin yung exponent na negative 2, positive na. So, wala na yung negative exponent natin. So, i-distribute ko na. 3 squared. Etong squared na to para sa lahat. Anong exponent ng 2? 1. So, 1 times 2, ayun yung 2. Yung a natin, may 1 din yan. 1 times 2, ayun yung 2. At yung b natin, may 2 dito. 2 times 2, we have here now 4. Doon ang galing po ito. And if we will be simplifying this, 9 over 2 squared is equal to 4. A squared b to the 4th. This will be our answer. So dito pa lang po, kung alam na po natin, medyo mabilis na po yung pagsasagot po natin. All we have to do now is to practice Kung nalilito, balikan lang natin yung ating slides. Balikan natin yung video na to. If you have questions, pwede nyo rin pong mag-comment na lang below. Makakarating sa akin. And as much as I can, sasagutin ko po. Okay? So with that, we're going to wrap this thing up. Yung integral natin, ulitin ko, integral and zero exponent, integral whole number lang siya. So from negative to positive. And then zero, yung nasa gitna lang niya. Pagka zero, lahat ng sakop niya will be equal to 1. Pag negative, ililipat lang po natin ang pwesto. Okay? So again, if merong pong part dito sa topic natin na confusing, you can just ask your questions sa comment section below. Makakarating po sa akin and pipilitin kong masagot kung saan po medyo magulo yung paliwanag po ni Sir. So again, this is your Sir Ian saying keep on learning guys and goodbye.